It's been too
Feels like
long.
it's been a month. Yeah, really.
It's been more than a month.
Has it been?
Yeah. So, hey, everybody. We are live. It has been one hell of a hot minute. So, John, this is going to blow your mind away.
Yeah.
The last show we did was May 22nd.
May 22nd? No way.
Yeah.
I thought we did something. We didn't touch anything in June, eh?
No. May 22nd was the last show, and we did a review of Air with your brother Chris.
Yes. I noticed that. I was like, did we not do something right before that? I'm like, no, I guess we didn't. And then we weren't able to connect for the Heroes World podcast, so we didn't do anything for that.
Yeah, it got really crazy. So first of all, man, I'm really happy to see you. It's been forever. I haven't we haven't even spoken in 3 months. This is the longest, John, we've gone without speaking.
Yeah. Like, how many did you look up how long our streak was before that, though?
Of us talking?
Yeah, of us meeting up basically once a week.
Oh, it was like 3 years.
Was it a 3
Oh, wait,
year
no,
streak?
more than that. More than 3 years. It's almost 10 years.
Get out. 10?
Yeah. 7 years? 7 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I was at my last employee. Yeah, it was 10 years. Yeah, my office in Markham, I was there for 10 years, and I started coming to the store about 2 years into me being there. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
In 10 years, I saw you once a week. We chat at least once a week, unless you were on vacation or whatever.
Yeah. Which is a rarity.
Yeah, and so it's been 3 months. I miss you, buddy.
Yeah, man. Rob, I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for always giving me your time and hanging out and doing all this stuff. Thank you, all you guys in the chat. I see some of you have started joining us. So yeah, thank you for hanging on there. It's been a while, but it's almost like, I don't know if it's like a therapy or just a chill thing to do. It's like almost a hobby. So I was telling Rob before we went live, if no one tunes in, it's just me and you catching up, which is fine by me. I know all you guys have got probably a pretty busy summer going on. And well, it did cross my mind. I'm like, yo, man, I haven't been able to talk to Rob about this, that, and this and that thing. But I know, I can feel it in the ether that he is just as busy as all of us, and kind of like things are going on. So it's great to kind of finally put something back on the board. I think we wanted to do this last week, Rob, but we kind of were not ready for it. And I think we decided to do it this long weekend, guys. So if you're giving us, what are we going to do? Maybe about an hour and a bit on your long weekend. Thank you guys for joining us during your holiday. Freaking guy. I miss seeing the background in your room. Look at that. I'm still jealous of your cool, I don't know if you call it, do you call it man cave? It's your office, right?
Yeah, it's my office. Yeah, it's my office.
Yeah. What's the difference between a man cave and an office? Do you have any ideas?
I think the difference is that, like, you play in your man cave, right? You watch. Now, I do have a TV here, but that's mostly for like distraction while I'm working something in the background, right? But yeah, now I do come down here occasionally, and I'll sit on the couch here, and I'll plop open my book, and I'll like a comic, and I'll read or whatever. So I do that from occasion. But I think, first of all, John, we got a lot to kind of go over and discuss about things that have happened this summer, especially in pop culture, comic book wise. But I think we should do a bit of a catch up as to like what we've been up to, so far. I mean, like I said, May 22nd was our last live show, and we had planned to we were going to skip the next week because I think you guys were getting ready for a big change.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and then I know that my schedule got really crazy with the kids' activities on Monday nights. And we were like, we need to start looking at shifting days for the summertime. And so let's get caught up, because your stuff is way more important than what I've been doing this summer. So let me know what have you guys, what the last we heard on May 22nd.
Okay.
So we reviewed Air, and then you gave a big announcement saying we are in the middle of packing up and we're on our way to
Moversville. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, we were a little over ambitious. So if you guys are familiar with this shop that we're kind of representing, kind of the unofficial sponsor or official sponsor of the Sidekick Show, and how me and Rob met and all that kind of stuff, is Heroes World. We moved from our previous location of a good long 15 years to a brand new spot. Sorry, Markham, we had to leave, but we're not too far away. We're in Richmond Hill now. And man, Rob, I thought we were going to get rolling and everything was going to be up and running. I was super ambitious. We closed up on Monday, June 1st or something like that. No, not Monday, like a Wednesday, day after the Wednesday. And then Thursday, we closed up for June 1st. And we thought we were going to move everything over. And we were kind of like, in our minds, we were like, hey, maybe we'll be open for the weekend. Oh, no, there was a lot to take care of. And it was a good, solid month and a bit of getting everything to where we want. So I'll just throw up some quick pictures, folks, in case you guys aren't familiar. So we used to be located on 8601 Warden Avenue. We are now located on 9078 Leslie Street in Richmond Hill. Our sign is still not up yet. Don't try to do a lot of work during the summer because a lot of guys whose area of expertise is this type of stuff are on vacay. So if you haven't stopped by to visit us, what are you waiting for? We're up and running. You can find us. The Google, everything has been updated, so you can come check out the address there, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek of what looks like inside. We've got.
Oh my God, who's that?
Yeah, I know. Who's that creepy dude in the corner?
I was like, geez, you let anybody in your store.
Yeah, it's you. Constantly tweaking. A lot of long hours for me and the team, and a lot of great volunteers. People helped us out during the move and things like that. Very appreciative. People giving us their time to help kind of iron all this out. So I look forward to maybe talking a little bit more about this, but I don't want to spend the whole podcast talking about this.
Well, you can. It's our show.
Yeah, it's our show, Rob. We built this. But yeah, I hope that you guys can all come visit. I'm looking forward to Rob coming down to check out the place. And we'll do some fun stuff. But the new spot, 9078 Leslie Street, it's right on Leslie and West Wilmot. 2 lights north of Highway 7, I believe is what I'm supposed to say. I'm still getting used to it. It's just starting to feel like home now. And it's been, I don't think it's been that long, maybe middle of June or first couple of weeks of June, we started getting up running. So
2 months.
Yeah. So it's has it been 2 months already? Damn.
Yeah, we're beginning of August, right? So
So it's starting to feel like home, and we're starting to get a little kind of balance in life. So that's why I'm able to come on and do this show with my good buddy Rob. So thank you everybody who's dropped by to visit is what I want to say, and more to come in the future. And then I've got some other store announcements, but we'll save that for later. I do want to catch up with Rob. I know I put this on hiatus because of the move. I knew I wouldn't be able to do both at once. And I was right. I thought we were gonna jump back. It was a shame, Rob. We our Mission Impossible rewatch got kiboshed, and there's been a whole slew of movies that came out, which I think we're going to talk about today. So if you guys are seeing a lot of stuff this summer or curious as to what we thought of things that went down, but I want to check on Rob because you were hella busy too, because I feel like this is the first summer that we're full out. Pandemic is over. I guess we can say over.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about that today. I was walking into Metro to pick up some extra groceries, and I was like, and I was thinking about the time we used to have to walk in there with masks and this and that. And I guess yes, it's over. At least in our minds, it's over. But yeah, man. You know what? First of all, like I gotta tell you, the store looks great. I haven't been to it yet. I am off where I should be off at the end of August, so I'm planning to make a trip out there to see you and check out the store and stuff. And maybe we'll talk about doing something there. But yeah, congrats, man. I know you guys did a workshop last weekend, I think, on photographing toy action shots, right? So I mean, you guys are doing a lot of things and game nights and that. So it looks great, man. I'm really happy, and I'm proud of both of you and Andre for this. So congrats, bud. Yeah, man. So yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, like once May started to hit, I got back from, my daughter is a competitive dancer, and we got back from the long week, the May 2-4 weekend. And then things ramped up, and all of a sudden it became, she had dance still, she had soccer. My son was in soccer. Plus he had, ball hockey and ice hockey had started, summer ice hockey. So we were literally out of the house every night for about 4 to 5 nights a week. And John, you might remember that on the 22nd of May, I had just commenced the week before on the 15th or the 16th, renovations of the house.
Yeah. Operation Teardown of main floor.
And it's still going on.
I'm not surprised, Rob.
Now we are closer than we were back then. So you know, I haven't been posting any photos online of the journey. Maybe I will once everything's done. But it involved a lot of shit. Like, you know, you're talking about like with the store and thinking, oh, you know, I was ambitious and thinking we can get this thing open and done. But you know, just as we've hit some roadblocks, you know, we had to go back to the city for some things or the town. We were knocking down walls, right? And we needed to put in steel beams, and structural engineers had to come back out. There's like a lot of things that were delayed, and then it would start and stop. At any rate, we're at a point now, John, where the flooring is partially installed. I'm hoping the flooring should be done by this week. Tiling should be done, and then we're waiting for the kitchen to be installed. Like we've been living in this basement, so like just on the other side of this door,
yeah,
is an old school, is a basement that we are now just sick of. It was old, like in the 80s, like carpeting, like it needed to be redone. But now actually having to live down here, aside from our bedrooms upstairs, having to live down here, we've come to the realization that we need to just blow out this basement. Like, although we're now financially unable to like give it a full renovation, we're going to do a nice, you know, a lipstick on a pig type thing. We're going to have to paint it, rip all the carpet out, put floor, like we got to do something because we're losing our collective minds. But construction is like going through renovations is no fun. And I know that people are like, oh, boo-hoo, cadet, you know, first world problems.
Yeah.
But when you work from home, which I don't take for granted, because I know a lot of people who aren't able to do that, yourself being one of them. But when you work from home and you're always here all the time, right? Yeah. There's a sense of cabin fever that starts to set in.
Oh yeah, man. During the pandemic, everybody was experiencing that.
Right. And but then it's like, and then it's like even cooking, like we don't have any water functions down in our basement. Everything's like upstairs, and we have
oh my god,
right? So like we're cooking on the barbecue, and to be honest with you, now we're doing takeout 2 to 3 times a week. Because if it rains, like tomorrow's calling for rain, John, and I just don't really feel like barbecuing in the rain anymore. So it's been challenging. So anyways, once it's all done, and I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks it'll be finalized the next few weeks. But there's an upside to this, John, and I'll tell you what this is.
Yeah. All right.
Shopping for new shit. Okay.
Is it like that Fight Club speech where it's like you go in the catalog, you get the yin yang cable and all that stuff?
You can't. There's right by my Voltron. There's a few things that are there. There's a lot of on the side, but I'm gonna tell you, John. I picked up well, we're getting new doors as well. So I picked up a new doorbell. I picked up some new sensors. I picked up a new. I'm upgrading my Nest thermostat. But John, I picked up a robot, a vacuum and mop robot on Prime Day. So once everything's done at nighttime, if I'm spending all this damn money on hardwood floors, I want it to look like freaking spick and span, John. So I got a robot vacuum. John, I also got a vacuum for my pool, a robot that it's a skimmer. It sits on top of the water and go
and take care of all the bugs floating around at the top of the pool.
Yes, dude. I've called him Frank. So Frank is his name. I'm going to take a video. I'm going to post it online. You'll be able to see Frank in action. I got a new soundbar, John.
Yeah.
I've picked up a new 4K player, and John, I picked up a 75-inch Sony Bravia OLED TV. So,
you got fancy. Oh, so everything's getting upgraded as soon as I was talking to Rob. The main floor is the heart of your house. So any of you guys with like a house that has, we're fortunate to have multiple floors or whatever. The main floor becomes the hub, like where you eat together, you watch TV together, you drop all your stuff after you get home from work or wherever you're going out. So it must be pretty rough not having that accessible to you during the summer, but we hope that the end is in sight, especially before the winter months hit.
Oh no! It's going to be. It's going. I'm actually very hopeful that by the end of this month, the new doors are installed in mid-September, but that should be the last piece. But everything else should be done by the end of this month. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to rip my hair out. Because you know what? Well, my boss is like, Rob, you need to take a couple of days off. And I'm like, well, where am I going to go? I can't do anything. She goes, just sit outside. Because, John, usually I like to brag this time of year with you. on the
you're in the
show.
pool.
I like Greg.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the problem. I can't do so. I was off for 2 days. And I said to the guys, I'm gonna be outside. You know, like I got the AC on. Like as we got water here, I'll buy you lunch. I don't care. Just I'm gonna be outside. But I can't enjoy it because I'm sitting in the pool, John. And I sit there and I look up and I see them there sweating and they're like scraping stuff and they're standing and I have dust all in my windows.
I think it's hard to relax when there's other people around you working,
watching out these 7 windows.
You feel really bad.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, man.
Hopefully there's an end to that insight. I just want to check in quickly with some of the people in the chat. What's up, Lewis? I know Lewis is always a great supporter of ours. Thank you, Lewis, for always checking in with us. Mr. Tarmizi mentions Mortal Kombat 1. I have been looking at Mortal Kombat 1 footage. Rob, I think you mentioned it before when they showed the trailer. They didn't show gameplay footage. They have shown up gameplay footage, and the game looks crazy sick as hell. So I can't wait till that drops. So we're all looking for that.
Have you been
Fraser,
gaming?
how you doing, man? I just finally saw Fraser for in a while. I feel like it's been a while, Fraser. I saw you at the shop the other day, so it's good to see you, buddy. And then Lewis is talking about your Panasonic.
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't, Lewis. Because Lewis and I've been chatting through Instagram about all this stuff. I actually went with a Sony model to kind of tie in, but I went with a new Samsung soundbar. And I went fancy white soundbar, John.
Oh, fancy white, so it matches if you have white walls or whatever. Rob, have you ever had to throw away one of your old tube TVs? Like those things are heavy as hell, right? That's like
I'm actually
like a 2 to 3 person job.
I have a 65-inch plasma in my main TV in the basement, and when that thing goes, I'm gonna need 5 guys to lift it out of here.
Oh, are they really heavy? I've never had a
plasmas are heavy because the panel is glass, like it's actual glass panel.
Oh yeah, I did have to help someone move a TV that had a glass front, and I was like, why is this thing so heavy? Because it's thin. It's a thin TV, and I'm like, oh, this front is all glass. So yeah, that reminds me that I'm not a young man anymore.
No, Lewis, like hopefully Rob didn't get a 4K upscaler and a proper Blu-ray. No, I got a proper Blu-ray player. Not too worried.
Oh yeah, Blu-rays.
But of course, now this is the problem. See, Lewis, I think he does this because he knows. Now I'm gonna be like, fuck. Now I'm gonna have to go back and take a look. But yes, no, I know I got a proper Blu-ray player. I know.
You have to future-proof your setup, folks.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's been new with me. The good news is, John, is everything's winding down in terms of the activities. And so I'm, my fall days, once September hits, I'll be back to like a more of a normal life. I'm outside of construction, but
yeah. Like I said, it's nice to relax when there's not people around you putting in hard work.
Yeah. It's really awkward
walking by video games. These guys over here are busting their ass.
Yeah, it's really hard walking by in like sandals with a towel and like a beer in my swimsuit.
I'm going to the pool, guys. You keep scraping that stuff off the ceiling and
And then I walk in. I'm like, oh, is that supposed to look like that?
What's up, Michelle? We have missed you. There's a lot of Howard the Duck news, isn't there, Rob? I feel like there's a bunch of Howard the Duck news that dropped. No, okay, Rob's going to completely ignore it. Okay, since it feels like we're going here pretty good, Rob, I'm going to drop a couple kind of like what's new at the shop, and then we'll get into we're just going to talk about the summer, folks. So if you guys have got movies that you went to see, TV shows you're watching, video games you're playing, we want to talk about all that stuff. Sorry, I hit the button too many times here. All right, so I just want to show you a couple new things at the shop, and I'll talk about some upcoming things. So we've got the brand new Blue Beetle figures. I figured this was relevant because that movie is opening in, 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks.
Hey, right around the corner. It's end of August, to my understanding. Are you hyped for this movie, Rob? I feel like...
No, but I will go see it. No, I'm not hyped. I'm not like, I can't wait to go see Blue Beetle. I will go see it, but I wouldn't call myself hyped.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit hyped. It looks like a lot of fun. I don't know if you made this point, Rob, or someone else made this point. It looks a little bit like the old Guyver movies.
Yeah, that was Guyver.
Yeah. It's got this campy kind of silly feel to it, but I do like the fact that our guy Zolo's in it, and he's showing off his martial arts skills that I don't know if he picked them up during Cobra Kai or he was training there off season or whatever. But it's gonna be nice to see some martial arts infused superhero action. So there's two versions of this Blue Beetle figure. One is called like the battle mode or something like that, and it's got the wings, and there's a regular one, and then there's a bad guy. I'm not going to show the bad guy because I feel like it's mild spoiler territory. And I'm just going to mention a couple other things at the shop. We always have new stuff coming in every week, folks. So if you don't follow us on our socials, Heroes World Online, Facebook, Instagram, and sometimes the YouTube here. So if you tune in into these shows, once we get these rolling again, I'll try and drop more stuff. But let's see what else I got going on here. So we did have a visit from Mr. Paul Lee of Kim's Convenience fame / Mandalorian. And he will be dropping by the shop on the 13th. Oh, but sorry, that's the Naman picture. But he's coming for our toy tailgate party. Oh, I hit the button too many times here. So he's coming. That's August 13th on a Sunday. He'll be doing some. I think he's going to have a photo op, and a whole bunch of other people are going to be in the parking lot selling toys, and we have some other guest artists. So if you are in the Richmond Hill area now, not too far from Markham, come drop by and check that out. And I did want to mention Andre's good buddy and friend of the shop, Iman Vanelli. I'm saying it wrong. Villani. Yeah, sorry. I'm always bad at names. I apologize. Has kind of dropped by the new shop a couple of times and came in to pick up this issue, the Fallen Friend issue, where Miss Marvel unfortunately dies. But fear not, her book is coming out the end of this month, which is available for pre-order on our website. So we are very happy to hear that she has kind of decided to write her own book in alongside one of the writers from the TV show will be working with her on the book as well. So very excited to see that. I don't think it gets much realer than that, folks, to show that you're a true fan of the source material, that you are wanting to write stories about your character. I think Paul Dano did it for Riddler as well.
Yeah, he did. He did
that book was quite successful. So we are looking forward to that. So you can pre-order your copies on our website today, or drop by the shop when it comes out. I believe it's August 30th. That's going to hit.
Now, Miss Marvel, John, they just actually premiered on ABC.
Oh, yeah. I heard it was going to network television, which I think is a great move. Like that show, it needs as much eyes on it as possible because it was a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Great representation, showing off all kinds of different fun stuff. And just the formula, the way it was done, seems like it wasn't done like a lot of the other Marvel shows. So much so that I think it does belong on network TV, 100%. So I'm looking forward to the response to that. And then this is the class that Rob was talking about before. We have another one coming up. And would you believe I did not grab the date? I believe it's August 26th.
No, I would believe that, John. Totally believe that. Yeah.
God damn it, Rob.
Wait, you want me to promote on my own on my own store?
Yeah. But it's coming up. You can get tickets on our website. Jeff Terrell's running it for us. He is a fantastic photographer, friend of the show. And he's going to teach you how to take really incredible shots with your action figures, toys, whatever you want. Playing with lighting, forced perspective, fun stuff like that. So we're doing a lot of fun, interesting stuff like this at the new shop. If you haven't come by, we have two kind of fun little, I don't know if you'd call them seminar rooms or game rooms that classes and things like this can happen. Andre did do a comic book club as well. So
that's right. Yeah, the Nightwing.
He's going to announce the new book that they're going to run. I think it's going to be Paper Girls Volume 1. Okay. So if you watch the TV show and you never read the book, or you're curious about the book, look out for that. And then there's a couple things coming up. So Rob, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of toy shows. So we're going to be all over the place. So August 19th, it's a Saturday. We're going to be at VonCon. That was a really fun show. We did it back at the beginning. Like when pandemic wrapped, they had to postpone the show throughout the whole pandemic and came back. It was a lot of fun. Really close venue. And then we're actually going to be in your hood September 10th in the Ajax Collectors Expo. So check that out in September. So they're kind of spacing these each a month out. And then in October, we'll be in the Mississauga Collectors Con. So if you guys want to collect vintage toys or new toys, lots of new toys. And then sometimes there's comic books and video games and all kinds of fun stuff at these shows. Come check us out. You can find Heroes World at those 3 upcoming shows. If you don't want to come out to Richmond Hill and visit us, we'll bring our stuff to you.
well, are you gonna? Why don't you should make a point to come out since you're gonna be up the road from me. Come down and check out the place when you.
Oh yeah, let's see your gutted apartment, your gutted house.
Yeah, why don't you? You should come by. You should come by and check everything out.
Yeah, just gotta watch out for the runaway deer, right?
Yeah, they're not runaway, John. It sounds like they've been captured. They're free roaming deer down here. Yes.
Shout out to Eric, who says he's
Hey,
getting
buddy.
ready to go see the new Turtles movie, which I think we're going to talk about later, Rob. I don't know if you went to see that Turtles movie.
I haven't.
But it was fantastic. All right, I'll mention it now. The new Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem, is amazing. I saw it 2 days ago. No, when was Thursday? 3 days ago?
Today's Monday. Sunday. Today's Sunday? Yeah.
4 days ago. Today is, in fact, Sunday. I went to see it. Ton of fun. I was really happy with it. I did see it in 3D. I wouldn't recommend 3D. Didn't go translate to 3D too well. But 100% go see that movie. Super fun. But Rob, all right, let's kick it off. Do we want to take care of anything else before we start chatting about whatever?
No, just that I think before we can be sure to jump in, we're doing this. John, I found the time. I said this before. I'll say it again 1,000 times. I love this guy, and I'm happy that we were able to do this tonight. We won't be back next week. but yeah, as much as I'd love to, I think we just got to figure out our timing and what it's going to look like. So, but I do, and John, we will talk about this off air, but just I'll put it out there into the ether, so it's recorded on YouTube for posterity, whatever, forever. Now I'm talking like John. I'm hoping to get back on a weekly basis with you, buddy, and we're gonna see what the show will look like. But I think that maybe I'm wrong, but I think that will be our goal, to get back on a weekly basis come
100%
at the end of summer into September or whatever. So that's probably our goal. But we really appreciate everybody who tuned in now. And if you're not catching us live, we appreciate you looking at this as hopefully the notification bell told you, your subscription on YouTube said, hey, these guys are back out of the mothballs. We'll be back. I promise we will be back. This is the first time, I think, in 3 years that we've taken any type of a break for an extended period. So we'll be back. Yeah.
We were on a hell of a streak. I guess you want to just roll with the comments for now first, Rob? So if you guys have watched something or catch something, we'll address the comments first, and then we'll kind of start talking about maybe.
Or if you caught it in English vernacular, but
everybody knows I know English speak good. So Steve mentions he's been watching Peacock's Twisted Metal, starring Anthony Mackie. And I checked out 2 episodes of that, and I actually quite liked it, Rob. I don't know if you checked it out.
No.
But I like it because it doesn't take itself seriously. Okay. It's not, which is the problem with a lot of the movies and other shows. I think it didn't oversell itself. It just is a fun, silly movie, TV show. It's almost like Last of Us in cars, with a really silly plot of the cities are all torn up, and they call them milkmen that drive between the different cities to transport goods and services and all that kind of stuff. But I actually thought it was a lot of fun. Steve, if you're liking it, shout outs to all. I like the cars in it. I don't know if that's an X factor in there for me, but
you played the game too before, didn't you?
Yeah, I used to play the game every night with my buddies, and we knew all those cheat codes to throw the fireballs and jump over stuff and get into the secret rooms. So and I think it was Twisted Metal 2 that we played a lot, and it was all adversarial. You fight each other. I have no idea what the story mode is. So if Steve says it's true to the story mode, great. I never played it. We just shot each other the shit. And that was what we did every night.
So I will say, John, I was thinking to myself, like, how, because I knew that it was something I wanted to watch. How have I not seen it yet? And it's because it's not officially here in Canada yet.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to get it on. Like,
it's dropping on Paramount Plus, and I believe it's I want to say August 10th. Is when it's coming on Paramount Plus. So
so are you gonna check it out, Rob? Or you had?
Yes.
I remember.
I have. Okay. Here it is. Twisted Metal, Paramount Plus, August 10th, I believe. Yeah.
All right. So Twisted Metal, I recommend it. I recommend checking it out. It like, I think it delivers as just a fun watch. Star Trek, Rob Lewis mentions Star Trek. Are you caught up to the Star Trek? People have been raving about it.
Yeah, so I'm playing catch up on Strange New Worlds. I think I'm on episode 5 or something. But yeah, so it was, because Lewis and I were talking about this. So it was huge news last week in that, Bell, which is the owner of Crave Canada, has had the rights for all the Star Trek shows for years, since 97. I think they were like the space, when it was the Sci-Fi was the Space Channel. up here. They were showing the original series, Next Generation reruns, and then once you got into some of the newer stuff like Enterprise, it was debuting up here on City on Space and everything else. And then, excuse me, once you got into Discovery, like all those shows. Anyways, Paramount is now grabbing back their rights. And so if you are a Strange New Worlds fan, as an example, and you're like, I should catch it. I don't have Paramount Plus in Canada. I should catch it. Just so you know, if you go on there now, it says leaving September 8th or September 10th or whatever it is. Like it tells you they're only going to be around for the next month or so. But yeah, if you go into Paramount Plus right now, if you are a Paramount Plus subscriber, all of the old Star Trek stuff is there, and they are uploading the Strange New Worlds as well into new episodes. So yeah, Crave will have lost Doctor Who is gone. It's going to Disney Plus. And now their Star Trek library will be gone and heading over to Paramount Plus in Canada. So,
yeah, interesting. More incentive to pick up a Paramount Plus subscription, which I don't know if is it still one of the cheaper ones per month.
Yeah, I think it's gone up to $9 a month or something like that. Yeah. But you know what? They are adding some stuff. There's a lot of decent shows and movies on there that I have. I mean, listen. Transformers Rise of the Beast was just in theaters, and it's been on Paramount Plus for the past 3 weeks. So, there you go, right?
Yeah. I don't know if we want to let's do a couple more comments, and then maybe we'll go back to Transformers quickly. So Mr. Tarmizi, is watching the Idris Elba Hijack movie. I believe it's on Apple, right?
Yeah, Apple TV Plus
TV show. And Warriors season 3. Oh man, I gotta get on Warriors season 3. So are you watching either of those shows, Robbie?
You know what, M. Tarmizi, I'm gonna tell you something. And by the way, I noticed you call me Robbie. I haven't been watching as many TV shows this summer as I generally do. It's usually my downtime.
Yeah.
So I haven't been, but I do know, like, it's my lists. This is the problem we talk about so many times. My lists are now growing so much that I'm starting to I'm getting overwhelmed with the amount of shows and movies that I have to watch. So it is on my list. I heard decent things about Hijack. The problem is though, I don't know that many people who have Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. I signed on to watch Ted Lasso season 3, which I did thoroughly enjoy. I know all good things must come to an end, and some people were like ho-hum about the 3rd season, but I thought it was a decent ending. I thought it was a good ending. Yeah. Now I'm gonna be able to watch seasons 1, 2, and 3 all and enjoy them. I think would I like to see more? Sure, I would. Fraser mentioned Secret Invasion. Okay, this was one of my talking things, but let's talk a little about Secret Invasion. Rob, I have no interest in this show whatsoever. I did not watch it. So you didn't watch it at all? I didn't watch it at all. People have told me it's not worth watching.
No.
A small snippet of people have said they did enjoy it. But what are your thoughts on Secret Invasion?
Honestly, I don't see what the point was. I don't see what the point of this show was. It moved the ball forward none. The ball stayed where it was. We saw the Skrulls in Captain Marvel movie, right? And then
Charlie Brown whiffed the ball and just it didn't go nowhere, eh?
Yeah, and then okay, cool, it's Skrulls, and then we got all kind of hyped up. I think when they released that trailer, we're like, "Whoa, that looks sick!" To me, this espionage shit, and Nick, it made no dent in the MCU. It made. And do we want to go spoilers on this, John?
I don't care.
Okay,
let's go spoilers.
I'm gonna go spoilers.
If you guys don't want Secret Invasion spoiled, the slow burn show that everyone is.
It's not even. It's not a slow burn. There's no burn. It's a burning pile of shit. I'm gonna go spoilers. I'm gonna tell you the very end. All right, I'm gonna tell you the end. And this is okay. First of all, not only does the show serve no purpose. Nick Fury is like a shadow of himself. It's like watching like an old man hobble around. It's not fun. And then they create the Super Skrull, and they give this one character powers that now make her the most powerful being in the MCU, because now she's got the power of Captain Marvel, Thanos, everybody, every Avenger, everybody. She is now that, yes, she What's the point? What is the point? And John, this goes back to the thing that we've talked about, even when we with Stu on the main show, the main podcast, is that it was becoming for me too much. There's too many of these MCU shows, and now what's they don't bring anything new to the table or anything that makes me want to, aside from there's a couple of handfuls. Ms. Marvel probably being the last decent thing that I've seen from there. Aside from that, though, I'm done. Like, I'm honestly done with these MCU shows. I don't care about them anymore, and I don't know if Kevin Feige is just done with producing and keeping his fingers in the pot or whatever's going on. But the MCU is it's I don't know. It's horrible. The TV show is horrible. It's a piece of shit. I wouldn't bother watching if you haven't seen it.
The first show they made us watch, and I think we've discussed this, that Scarlet Witch and Vision, or whatever the hell that show was called. WandaVision, yeah. It became absolutely irrelevant to the movie that came out after it, right? The whole idea of these shows providing additional content or lead up into these movies, it kind of just was like, nah. I guess you kind of need to know what happened here, but not really. And then I'm with you. Like, as far as shows, I think Miss Marvel kind of stood on its own as something different. Hawkeye, I think we both agreed, was a fun one. But everything else, like Falcon Winter Soldier, I did like at the time when we were watching it. I haven't gone back to rewatch it. Everything else has been forgettable. I argued that Peacemaker was probably one of the better, one of the best shows, and then you said it's not Marvel, so it doesn't count. But I feel like it does count. It shows you what these shows can be if you don't just rely on gimmicky prequel or Easter egg type stuff, right?
Yeah, listen, I've actually gone back and watched Peacemaker. I actually own it digitally because I think it's so funny. Like it's so much fun and it's funny. And
I think it's just well written as well. Like, the character development is solid in it.
And listen, I know people loved Moon. I think if you're a huge Moon Knight fan, you probably really enjoyed the Moon Knight series. I thought it was okay. But reflectively looking back on these, I don't like, what's the point? There's no point in these shows anymore.
It was filler, and I think while it might have occupied people's time, it has burnt people out, and it also doesn't help that the quality doesn't feel like it's up there. And I think this might come out in our discussion later when we talk a little bit more about the summer movies, which is being held as like the summer flops or something like that. That people are just either getting franchise fatigue or just the quality isn't there. So let's talk a little bit about, Fraser mentioned Transformers. You mentioned it a little bit, that it's on Paramount Plus. Did you watch this one, Rob?
I did. So
I saw this in theaters opening
theater
weekend.
to see it.
Yeah.
I know you saw it opening weekend. I went a couple of weeks later. I did go see it.
It's okay.
Whatever,
it's okay.
Man.
It was okay.
It was okay. But like, you know what? There was something that I remember walking out going, why did they, like, there's things in the movie I'm like, I don't understand. Like, what was the point? I think Fraser made it, and it's probably in that comment you just had. He's like, they didn't really, there wasn't much of the Maximals in there. And
the Rise of the Beast was not the focus of the movie.
No, not at all. And the whole, the whole MacGuffin, right? Like, there's a corridor that just happens to be big enough for a human to get down and turn off the power. It's like, yeah, whatever, man.
Okay,
like,
what about? Okay, we're gonna.
But Pete Davidson was hilarious. I will say.
I love, but I'm a big Pete Davidson fan, so I've got a bias for him. I thought he was really great as a character that's not Bumblebee, that can actually talk. And I forgot the young guy's name from In the Heights and Hamilton and stuff like that. I think he's an upcoming actor that we're going to see in a lot of stuff. And even the girl, I think she is from Project Power with Jamie Foxx, which I like her as well. But yeah, the whole movie towards the end, you get cameos from who are the Beasts. And that was it. You didn't really get a major role. Like Michelle Yeoh, I guess, as Air Razor, got some speaking parts.
Yeah.
But overall, those new Transformers, you could push them aside and you probably forget.
Yeah, didn't make a difference.
They existed.
No, the best part of the movie though is that entrance with Bumblebee. Like by far, that's it. You're like, oh, you drop an L.
Yeah,
cool
Bumblebee got to be hella cool, but for some reason they can't make Optimus Prime as cool as Bumblebee has been lately.
No, they made Optimus Prime I don't know what it is about these movies. They make him a really shitty leader who has an inability to fight anybody. Honestly, I'd be like, why are we following this guy? He can't do anything.
Like, this guy sucks. His decisions are all bad.
He runs and he trips. Like, what are we talking about? What's happening?
he has sucked since, I don't know, someone made the point of like, remember in like, I don't remember if it was the second or the third movie where he's like, I'm gonna fight all the Decepticons in the woods alone, and you're like, oh man, he turns his hand to his sword and he like wrecks shop. He has not done something like that since then. So yeah,
no.
shout out
Fraser does say that. So Fraser makes a comment, and again, this is guys, it's gonna be spoilers. Yeah. All right. So we spoilers for Transformers. There. Okay, John, put it up.
Yeah, it's spoiler. It's up.
Yeah,
you're late to the party.
Whatever. It's not even like a mid-credit scene because it's literally the end of the movie. Yeah. But they do a GI, and you know what, they've talked. It's been all over the news about this whole thing, or in your, whatever. So, but yeah, there's a GI Joe tie-in, which that whole, what is it, John? Maybe 5.5 minute scene is more enjoyable than the movie itself. I like Mike Kelly, like that actor. I mean, you see him in Jack Ryan, everything else of that, and House of Cards and all that. I was like, oh, I'll follow this guy. Sure, this is wicked. No, let's go, G.I. Joe. I'm all for it, man. But yeah,
How do you pick the most questionable thing in that first G.I. Joe movie, which is those accelerator suits, and tie them into a major finale of this movie? Is questionable, but I think it worked. I didn't do it, but I did want to fire up Rise of Cobra after I saw this movie. So hopefully I guess that's what they were aiming for. Everyone's going to start streaming or buying up copies. Oh, look, has Rob got a copy of that? Oh, no, he's letting the dog in.
Can I come in or no?
Nope, just wants to see what's going on. Guys, if you are excited for a G.I. Joe Transformers movie, let us know in the comments if that would make 2 or 3 more movies like Rise of the Beast worth it.
No. I feel like they squashed and squandered the goodwill they had with the Bumblebee movie.
I find it very strange that we go from a movie like Bumblebee, but it was, I think, despite how great we thought it was, I think it was one of the lower box office grossing ones. So some number crunchers probably looked at it and went, oh, let's go back to this old Michael Bay formula. So
yeah, it might have been one of the lowest. It might have been one of the lowest grossing, but it was one of the highest rated, right? Critical.
For sure. Yeah. Michelle says she wants a Barbie G.I. Joe movie. Speaking of Barbie, Rob, did you go see Barbie?
No, I haven't yet. And I say yet because I do want to go see it. My wife and daughter went. My wife wants me to go with her, and I will go. So I actually said to her, I said, hey, we should go see a movie tonight. And she was like, aren't you doing something tonight? I was like, no. And I was like, oh, wait.
You still got time. You guys can catch a 9:30 show.
What time is it?
Wrap up.
No. She's already in bed and probably getting close to passing out.
Well, shout out to Barbie for achieving so much with, I think, was a relatively low budget, and just really enthusiastic people that worked on the movie. I didn't get a chance to see it. My usual group that goes bailed on me and went to see it without me, and I was like, what the hell? I wanted to see Barbie too. But did you ever consider the Barbenheimer combo pack?
No, because I thought, oh, that'd be kind of fun to do. Just the weekend that I did go see Oppenheimer, I just didn't have the opportunity to see Barbie, but I did see Oppenheimer. And John, I freaking loved it, man.
You're damn the Italian.
I absolutely loved that movie. I wanted to go back and see it again. I haven't had an opportunity, so hey Sarah, I absolutely loved this.
Sarah, let us know what your rating on Barbie was.
Neither of us saw it, Sarah, but I am going to see it probably within the next couple of weeks. So,
yeah, I think it's great how well that movie did. I think it's really cool. But I hate, you know what I hate, Rob? The fact that they're like, oh, it did well. Let's create a Barbie universe. Not that I don't want a Barbie universe to exist, but I just hate that they're like, oh, how can we cash in on this popularity and kind of just spin this out into and stretch it across a million things. Like, are we going to have Hot Wheels Barbie and all that stuff? I think that kind of sucks. As soon as something does well, it's like, how do we proceed to cash in more?
Make a big universe of
how do we sell this out and make it a bigger thing? Like, I think it was like, oh yeah. So it looks like the general. Okay, so Gord and Sarah give it roughly around 6.5 to 7. Michelle gives it a 9.0.
Yeah.
So
My wife really enjoyed it.
yeah.
My daughter, she thought it was okay, but to be honest with you, she's not a Barbie generation, right? Like she never really played with them. Did you see Oppenheimer?
No, I want to, because I haven't seen any of Nolan's work in the theaters since Batman. Probably
What?
since Batman.
You haven't seen anything since Dark Knight Rises?
I think so. I missed Tenet, which was, I guess, an Inception. I didn't see those in theaters. So, and Dunkirk, I missed all three of those in theaters. So I did feel like I owed it, but I don't know. The subject matter is just a little dark, Rob.
My son actually wanted to see it, so he came with my wife and I. He had different. He's like, I didn't really understand what was happening a lot of the movie, but I don't fault him, only because it's you don't know what you don't know, and if he has no pre-existing, even a smidgen of knowledge of that time period, then it of course is not the whole idea about it doesn't make sense. It is, though, John. It's a very, and I would be interested to find out if anybody else watched the movie. In the comments, let us know. But I found that Oppenheimer it reminded me of an old school movie, John, where it was all dialogue driven, right? And it's told from the perspective of the man, not about the Manhattan Project. It's about him and his involvement with it, not about the project. We've seen that before, those movies. If this is like a Michael Bay movie, buddy, like this, I walked out of here going, if this is Michael Bay who had done this movie, you'd have nuclear explosions. You'd see from the satellite, from the Earth, you see like the big explosion happening and stuff, and you'd rocks flying everywhere and lens flares. Like, it wasn't like that at all. And there are this movie. Listen, this movie is going to rack up almost all the Academy Award nominations for those people. You're going to have, best director, best adapted screenplay, best picture, but you're going to have, I'm telling you, you're going to have actor nominations for Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Emily Blunt is phenomenal. It's like this movie, and there are even Matt Damon. There are so many quote unquote stars in this movie who sometimes just have, Florence Pugh was in it, who have these like nominal little roles, but they add so much to it. It reminds me of old school Hollywood movies, John. And I think you would really enjoy it. It's a 3-hour movie, but man, is it good.
Yeah, 100%. I'm on board with Fraser here. I said it's going to be hard to get into, but I do really want to see it. Like, I think the performances and everything, like, Robert Downey Jr. should be nominated in the comments here. So I'll have to check in later.
This is interesting. So M. Tarmizi said he watched, but the love scenes were cut. So M. Tarmizi, you must be then, and earlier you said good morning. So you're over in either somewhere in Asia, I believe, because there were some scenes in Asia that were cut, and also somewhere in the Middle East as well. They cut out some of the quote unquote love scenes. But
good catch there. Look at Rob. Being the detective. Putting it all together, figuring out why people are seeing different versions than us. We
got to give it to Michelle for this one.
Yeah,
I hear awful.
Yeah. Oh my goodness! All right, Rob. Okay, since we're already almost approaching an hour here, we got to talk about the big movie that you were like highly anticipated for the summer. I think you got tickets to see it 3 times in a row. It's kind of up and down what people think about this movie. And I think it's considered a bomb. But Rob, let's talk about your Flash movie for a second here. Did it?
You're loving this. You're loving this.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to talk about for this, folks. So we're gonna try and keep it relatively short. But there's a whole discussion on how much it made in the DC scale. Is it below Suicide Squad? Like all kinds of stuff. But I just want to know, Rob, do you think it deserved like what it's getting? Like, basically, it's considered a bomb. A lot of people hate it. Some people are saying it's the worst thing out of WB. I watched it. I didn't mind it. I think there was some questionable stuff in it, like that baby saving intro. I think was pretty bad. They should have probably went in a different direction for that. But there was a lot of other fun stuff. And Ezra Miller.
Yeah, no, Miller. Yeah.
Miller. Whatever you think of them. When 2 of them popped up on screen, it was pretty funny. And the whole remember you made criticisms of how funny Flash runs. I don't know how many movies they set that up for, but it paid off in this huge joke in this movie where he tries to run like this idiot, and he's just like, it doesn't work. So, Rob, how are you feeling? I think you saw it 3 times in theater total.
No. So here's what happened.
Okay, so did you cancel a set of tickets?
I did. So here's what happened. So I had bought tickets for the Friday and the Saturday of opening weekend. And then I was fortunate enough, and I think we discussed this, John. I was fortunate enough to see a fan screening in May in Toronto. Right. And it was what they had deemed an unfinished copy. Now, at that time, I think I explained it. I didn't talk about the movie on the show here much. I did say the very end of the movie, it stops. And I also, for me, I didn't see the end, that reveal at the end, who gets out of the car. And I had mentioned it during our show that I felt that there were some visual effects that weren't done. I don't know if you remember this. I said, it felt like there were some VFX that weren't done, especially like this one big stuff. And I said, and I'm really hoping it wasn't a design aesthetic that they were going for and that it just wasn't completed. But I had a feeling it was the design aesthetic. And sure enough, it was. And so that whole chrono ball stuff where you see this, like that was all like the plasticky look as he's running in time. That was their decision. And I am flummoxed by that. Here's the thing. Okay. I like the movie. Like, I think the movie's fun. It's watchable. It's enjoyable, right? Like, I watch it and I'm like, cool. But for me, John, like, this is a one and done movie. Like, the nice thing about it is that it does not set up anything for the future. It doesn't promise you anything, any possibility. There's no, there's a chance you're going to see, this universe continue. No, it's over. It's done. It's closed. It's like, it is for me, John, it was the equivalent of a Flash annual issue, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, it's a cool little thing. It's a nice, cool little story. It's kind of fun, but it really doesn't have any ties to what came before or after. It's its own thing. And I don't need to, if I don't read the annual, I don't need to worry about what happened between issues 167 and 168. That annual is there. It doesn't make a difference. So that's kind of how I look at the movie. But that being said, this movie, it was so close, John. It was like, this movie could have been something absolutely spectacular. It was right in their grasp. They could have focused on everything about Barry's mom dying and the reason he goes back. They could have done like that Flashpoint thing. They could have done reverse flash. They could have done that. The emotion, because there are moments in that movie where you buy the emotion, right? Like you see and you feel for it and you're like, wow, they're selling this emotion, right? And they just be like, we're going to give this to you, and then we're going to give you a big spectacle of him running in this ball. And you get to, look, we're going to throw in cameos of people you don't give a shit about. And, oh, look, there's a guy who, has a tattered history of being Superman that probably led to him committing suicide. Yeah, we're going to throw that in there for you. And look, here's some bad visual effects. Bring Christopher Reeve and Helen Slater together for you. Like, there was all these things. You're just like, what the hell, man? Like, well, I want the other movie that I thought we were going to be getting.
Yeah, no, 100%. They oversold that with the whole kind of like, remember when a whole bunch of people came back from advanced screenings, James Gunn, like whoever is somebody was like, oh man, this is going to be the best superhero movie.
One of the best superhero movies of all time.
Yeah. I feel like if that type of stuff didn't happen beforehand, it wouldn't have set people up to hate it so badly. Like Gord said, he went to see it and he said he went in with low expectations and was happy. I went in with the same thing. I was okay with it. It's no worse than some of the other stuff I've seen this season, I guess. It's definitely, I think someone mentioned in the comments, Wonder Woman 84 is definitely worse than this movie. I think it's fine. Like if you go to theaters and see this, or if you're watching it now, it's a decent cap off to the Snyderverse. If you had any attachment to that, and that's fine. I think going forward, they're okay moving on. But yeah, I don't know. I saw a meme that was I think they had a PlayStation 1 game cover and they put the Flash on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's kind of accurate. But the CG wasn't what bothered me. So
Well, the CG bothered me a little bit, but it was some
Yeah.
of the story of it all,
Yeah.
right? I will say though, you know me, I've been dunking and hating on the Flash TV series for years now because
Yeah.
it was the shell of what it was. I think season 2 is probably the last great episode or season that they ever made. But they did an episode called The Runaway Dinosaur, which was written by Zach Stentz, and I feel like it was directed by Kevin Smith. Anyways, it was this whole thing about Barry going back and seeing his mom, but he sees a version of himself as well. And that episode is full of emotion and heart. And I was like, well, maybe they realized, like the filmmakers, the Muschietis, were like, oh, we couldn't top that. We're not going to show our version of what this is going to be because that was already done. I don't know. But I just wish, because there's so many good moments in that movie. I wish they just gave us the movie that I think, and what they said, oh, this is going to be the direction we're going to go in for the second movie. You don't know if you're going to get a second movie. So do it all now, man. What do you like? Give it to us now. You don't know.
Yeah. Being I don't know what you would call it, overconfident or like cocky like that, and going, hey, yeah, we're gonna save this for the next movie or the third movie in the trilogy. I'm like, you're not even there. You're not even there. Like they did that for I think the Mummy was one of the examples, the whole dark universe thing where they've just anticipated too much, and you think like you thought you were gonna get a sequel. Like remember Jumper with Hayden Christensen?
Yeah.
I don't know. That was like a setup for, I don't know if they wanted a trilogy or a bunch of sequels.
Stuff.
Yeah. And that did not work out. Masters of the Universe, they were setting that up.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, so Michelle says they totally blew it with Michael Keaton's Batman, wasting an opportunity. So what did you think about Keaton's return to the cowl?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I think, unfortunately, he overstayed his welcome. Not that it was his fault. I think they might have just not had enough stuff going on that they were like, hey, Keaton, how long can you remain on set and film more scenes? And we're just gonna put you in everything, put you in the whole ending, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it was just too much. No, not that it was too much. They relied on it too much. They thought this gimmick was going to carry them to, I guess, a possible second or third or reestablishing of the DC universe.
He was
happy with it, Rob?
Nick Fury, right? He was supposed to be the Nick Fury, tying all these movies together afterwards, going out. And the problem is, like, I enjoyed seeing him, but I didn't feel like it was my Batman.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't feel like Michael Keaton Batman of before. Like, it just felt, I don't know, felt gimmicky, especially like his lines.
Yeah.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I was like, just why? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I'm Batman. Like, it just, I don't know, man. I just felt it kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I also felt like those movies were much more grounded than putting him in this with Zod. Like, and the Kryptonians. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is not. What are you talking about? This is not. I don't know, man. It just didn't make any sense to me. I was, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, Rob. Since we're running out of time, since we talked about Flash already, do you want to talk about maybe the best thing you've seen this summer and maybe the worst thing?
Well, no, we got it. First of all, we got a little bit of time because I want to get Mission Impossible. Did you see Dead Reckoning?
Yes, I 100% Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning? I saw Dead Reckoning. I'm skipping words. I've always done that. But Dead Reckoning, Rob, I loved it.
Did you really?
Which is unfortunate that it's getting destroyed.
I gotta say, I'm very surprised that you loved it. Tell me what your thoughts are.
I just I just got this big bias. I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. I like what he delivers on screen. His personal life, all that kind of nonsense aside, whatever you think of him, I think he does put everything he's got onto the screen. And I just liked it. I just liked everything. Like it was wall to wall action, like with bridges bouncing into the next. But maybe they've been a little over ambitious with it. The issue that I have with it, I don't know if we want to do spoilers. Should we do spoilers? Because it's been out for I feel like it's still got a little bit of life. But the killing off of one character, that is an amazing character in the series. I didn't really buy it. I did not think. And then to come off of this villain, who is, I think he was in Ozark, wasn't he? One of the bad guys in Ozark.
No, he was. He was Deathstroke in Titan season 3.
Is it? I've seen him around. He's in something else. This guy,
Gabriel Morales. He's been in a lot of things, but I don't. In Ozarks.
I don't know if we got spoiled by Henry Cavill being such a formidable foe for Tom Cruise.
Right.
That I did not buy that this guy could take out this beloved character of the series.
Yeah.
And that the new character thought that they could even. I just don't like that whole setup. I didn't like how the way they arranged it. I feel like that was the only thing about the movie that I would probably try and take back or adjust or do. But I know you've got thoughts. We've always had this James Bond versus Ethan Hunt debate. So what are your thoughts, Rob, on this Mission Impossible?
So like I've actually really enjoyed going back. I did finish off the rest of the movies. Before this one, I did enjoy it. Like I do enjoy Mission Impossible movies. I just like Bond movies, but I do enjoy Mission Impossible. That being said, I'm very surprised you like this movie. I'm surprised you think it's full of action. I would challenge you to go back and rewatch it. This was the most Daniel Craig, James Bondian movies that they've done in this series. Now, you could say some of the earlier Mission Impossible movies were very reminiscent of early James Bond movies. But this one reminded me specifically of Spectre in that there was a few action scenes, different places throughout the world, but it was like absurd plot chasing after a device. Like this one specifically was a key.
MacGuffin.
and actually this Mission Impossible movie had no gadgets aside from their typical face mask. There was no gadgets.
Yeah. There was the glasses.
Yeah, but there was no real no interesting. There's no there wasn't the plethora of gadgets. Like if you remember Ghost Protocol, they had the thing with the canvas, in Russia. They had all that. They had a whole bunch of different things that they were doing, the hidden, hideouts and all that stuff. They had all these different gadgets to kind of help them through. And in this, they had the face thing, and then, those the magical glasses. But I felt like I was like, wow, this is like, and it was a long movie. It was almost 3 hours, like 2:47.
It was long, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that.
And it felt like it was trying to be Spectre. In fact, if you remember Spectre, Dave Bautista is in it, and as a henchman, he doesn't say anything. And in this one, Pom Clementif is a henchwoman, and she doesn't say anything.
She gets a bunch of French lines, which was really cool. And her in the Hummer, that was awesome.
Very, very, But what I'm saying is that it felt like watching Spectre, and I was like, this is a Mission Impossible movie, but are you trying to go like highbrow Mission? Like it doesn't make any sense. This is your bread and butter has been these crazy action, bang, 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 and now you're trying to do like highbrow, like more talky action, Mission Impossible. I was very surprised. Now I enjoyed the movie. I'm just surprised that the way that it was. And I have to also say, when you are selling your big action stunt scene that Tom Cruise is always known for, they've been selling this specific scene for 2 years. Like I don't remember what movie we went to, John, and that was the preview. It was a 5-minute or 4-minute preview of them setting up this shot, and you saw the shot over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And there's nothing different. We've watched this shot 1,000 times.
Yeah.
And there's nothing new. So I was just like, that is your shot. All right.
Yeah, that was the shot. I don't know if it's because this was pushed back because of the pandemic, correct?
Yes, a little bit. Yeah.
So this is not the original intended release scheduling, timing, all that kind of stuff. It's been in the can for a while. So I think they just revealed too much. They gave away too much with that particular stunt. That so much so that when it happens in the movie, you're kind of, here's the stunt that I've seen Tom Cruise do in a 8-minute docu series on YouTube already.
Right.
And it's pretty much, I don't know if that's considered the climax of the movie, but it's at the finale, at least part of the finale of the movie. I found when they're I won't give away too many spoilers because there's some people in the comments that haven't seen it yet. But when they're climbing up the train and the train keeps falling down or whatever, I thought that was pretty intense. I like that scene.
Yeah, me too. I actually I played that in Uncharted 2. Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see Tom Cruise with Nathan Drake. All right, let's move on from Dead Reckoning. So unfortunately, it was not quite the summer destroyer that it was being claimed to be, right? And it would be it's hella hard to follow up something like a Top Gun Maverick, right, Rob? That movie is like perfection.
Well, yeah, because that is action and intensity, ups and downs, but it contained.
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning, it's AI.
Yeah.
Right? It invited you, and AI told people to go to a club and dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I did the villain of the movie. So let's move on to. I guess.
Although before I will say there's he's a reporter for the Globe Mail. I think he does their movies and TVs. Barry Hertz, I think is his name. I could be wrong. Anyways, he made a really funny, he made a really funny tweet yesterday, and he's like, it just occurred to me that both Paramount's two biggest movies this summer, Mission Impossible and Transformers, both of their plot lines involved having to get a key.
It's an unfortunate plot device of many movies to get this key or insert this key into whatever to resolve the thing that you're fighting against.
So are you here's where we've got now they ended it, and we know that it doesn't really end on a cliffhanger, but it kind of does, but not like Spider-Verse did, right? So are you now more excited to see Dead Reckoning Part 2? Are you the same level of excitement, or has the sheen kind of worn off a little bit?
Did they film them back to back, or are they going to be filming?
They're still filming Part 2. They were filming, then they were middle of filming it or close to finishing it, and then obviously now with the strikes they've stopped.
I think with the strike, it's probably going to give them a bunch of extra time to make adjustments. So I'm still looking forward to it. Like I said, it probably maybe didn't live up to my full expectations. I feel like the last one, if we ever got, maybe one day we'll circle back and finish our Mission Impossible rewatch. I feel like the last one, Fallout, probably would have ended up at the top of most of our lists of the sequence of like, what are your favorite Mission Impossibles? Because that one was hella solid, I think, to my recollection. But yeah, it's kind of a shame. But since you already mentioned Spider-Verse 2, Rob, I didn't get to see that one because that was the week that we moved the store.
Right.
So what did you think of that one? Some people in the comments are already mentioning it, comparing it to the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. But
I think comparing it because of the animation style. I think Ninja Turtles.
I think animation and some of the artists or something, I think, are the same people. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on it. But how did you feel about that? A lot of people, when it hit, were saying that is the movie of the summer. That is the best thing that they've seen all summer. So what are your thoughts on that? And the cliffhanger on that, which stings especially hard because we have no idea when we're going to see the next one.
Yeah. Because we had the promise of it coming out like 6 months, 8 months from now. And then all of a sudden people are like, oh, we haven't even started working on it. You're like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I like the movie a lot. I would like to see it again. I remember coming out of I know a lot of people, like Stu loves number 2. I remember though coming out of number, like John, I've said this before, I did not really care to see the first one, and my son said, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It was over the Christmas holidays. We went in, and the story that it told and the emotion of it all got me. And it's one of my favorite comic book movies, right? I love that movie. And the importance of Miles the whole thing with Stan Lee, it doesn't matter who's behind the mask, right? Like, I was like, oh my God, that's great. You don't get that. I don't get the feels in this movie. This is way more action. It obviously it expands the universe and stuff. So I enjoyed it a lot, but I think I still prefer number 1 only because of the smallness of it, of the, of seeing it, the emotional aspect of it. But I did quite enjoy Into the Spider-Verse. I am looking forward to the third one. I would love to see it. Who the hell knows what's going to come out?
Yeah, who knows? That's what's put the hesitation on me. Like, I did want to catch it in theaters after I missed it that week, and then as I put it off, and then now with the strike, and the fact that even before the strike happened, animators are coming out and going, hey, they're saying this movie's going to come out here. It's not going to happen, folks. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to rush to see it. It's out in digital August 8th, I think in 2 days
Okay.
is my understanding.
And Sarah is talking about who hasn't seen Mario, and I haven't seen Mario Brothers. I heard it's decent, but it is dropping on Amazon Prime this month. I think it's the end of the month. So
yeah, you can buy it on digital or rent it off the Cineplex app or whatever. But yeah, I think it'll come to streaming.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime this month.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I feel like I saw Sarah and Gord talking about it earlier. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem might win the summer for me right now, which is really shocking turn of events. But the movie just hits so hard, Rob. I don't know, like if you watched many of the trailers for it, but if you're a bit of a hip hop head as well, that movie is really gonna strike home. And
will it be better hip hop than they like? Listen, man, I will say Transformers had one hell of a dope fucking soundtrack. Right, the '90s hip hop was pretty sick. So
yeah. That movie, it gets a pass for me because it threw in the SWV Wu-Tang track.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh yeah, pass. I have to give this movie a high rating. So if we were gonna rate it, it probably would have got a 10 out of 10 because it included that track. But this movie definitely integrates the hip hop and the culture more. I think better than Transformers did.
Yeah, well, you know what? I will go see it. I just, you know what? The two movies I haven't seen that I kind of was this one and Indiana Jones. I didn't go see it in the theaters. So
I forgot that it came out. If anyone saw Indiana Jones in theaters and had a great time, let us know now.
So for you, Ninja Turtles is your movie of the summer then?
I think it's gonna secretly win the summer unless something comes out like Blue Beetle. It just hits that spot. But something about the Turtles, the way they reinvented them here. They've always managed to kind of push the Turtles in different directions lately.
Yep.
So much so that I've pretty much liked almost every project that's come out, aside from the first Michael Bay movie. The second one had something going on, but then they, didn't quite get there. But all their animated features, the Nickelodeon show into Rise of TMNT into this, I like the progression that they're able to do different stuff with these characters, yet keep the essence of it alive. No problem. Rob, what do you think? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe runner up to me. I had a fantastic time seeing that movie. Really hit you in the feels. But do you have something?
It's on Disney Plus now. Have you rewatched it?
I have not. That's the thing. That's why I don't give it the top spot. I don't know if I'm gonna ever rewatch it. I listened to the playlist, the music playlist. I've listened to that several times since seeing it. But I don't know if I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Can I? Yeah, and I'll tell you what I'll tell you two things. I'll tell you what my favorite movie of the summer has been. But before I do that, we talk about this MCU. We talk about the MCU shows at the beginning of this show, and how I don't see what the point is anymore of these stupid shows. And Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you're like, I don't know if I'm going to see it again. I always thought that Captain America: Civil War was like kind of like it was decent. I just rewatched it, dude, the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, man, this movie's a hell of a ton of fun. And I actually miss when those MCU movies were kind of like that. Like, it was like I'm watching Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Giant Man. Like, and Black Panther. I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. I don't know when the last time you saw Captain America: Civil War was, but I would say you should go back and watch it and remember what it was like to have, like, what I think now. I enjoyed Captain America: Civil War more now than I did when it first came out. Comparative to what we have going on now, I'll watch that old shit all the time, man.
Well, it's hard because they got to their a lot of people have said they got to their Super Bowl, which is Infinity War Endgame, and then now they've got to start again and start building from the ground up again. Civil War, I remember not being super thrilled with it when it first came out. Winter Soldier has always been my jam. I've watched it several times. I haven't watched it this year or maybe last year, but I feel like it's still going to hold up. But Civil War, I think the spectacle of seeing all those characters and now they're kind of familiar because you don't see them so you get a little bit of nostalgia when you go back and see them. But yeah, I'll give it a shot, Rob. But I think Winter Soldier is still going to be top of the heap. So,
so my movie of the summer though, that I had the most.
Fast X.
What's that?
Fast X. Family. Vin Diesel gave a pretty decent performance that movie, I would say.
No, I gotta tell you, it's gonna be Oppenheimer for me, man.
Oppenheimer really moves. Is it fun for the whole family, which is your famous quote? RoboCop, Oppenheimer, fun for the whole family.
Yeah, man. I think for me, that was probably my most enjoyable. Like I came out of it. Like I said, again, listen, I enjoyed The Flash. I like it. I will watch it again. I won't pay $30 to buy it digitally right now. I'll wait for it to come down in price a bit.
Yeah.
I like Mission Impossible, but I didn't love it. And I'm waiting to see what part 2 is. And maybe it will complete and be a better movie of 2 parts than it is on its.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest. Like, despite the fact that I did like it, Rob, I didn't like it as much as I thought I was gonna like Mission Impossible. I thought I was gonna like a lot. I thought it was gonna win the summer for me for sure.
Yeah.
But now you have something like TMNT. My buddy Jeff does Shadow Dungeons and Dragons. Rob, did you ever get around to watching it?
Yeah, I did. So I bought it digitally because it was on sale for like $12.99. And Stu's like, dude, it's $13. Just buy it. And literally
it dropped on Netflix.
It dropped on Netflix. So I watched it. It's okay. I wouldn't have bought it.
Okay.
It's okay. But I am going to rewatch it again because maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it or whatever. But yeah, it was okay.
I've heard that actually. Like, I think the at-home watch versus in theater at full volume popcorn, laughing along, increases the value of that movie. So watching it at home, I find that everyone I've talked to has not been as thrilled with it as I was. I thought it was a fun time.
Have you rewatched it?
I have not rewatched it though. I very rarely rewatch things though. In that movie's defense,
yeah,
in that movie's defense, I feel like
yeah, I don't know. I try to. If I like something, I'll watch it a few times, right? Like,
yeah. I think Gord is agreeing with you on Oppenheimer. I think, or maybe he's.
Or I think that might have been about the Civil War thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
D&D. Gord says D&D was a good time. Lewis says D&D was fun, so it was just a fun movie, I think. So you're saying, if anyone else in the comments has your movie that's winning the summer so far,
or if anybody in the comments watched SummerSlam last night and wants to talk about what the hell happened with the bloodline, let me know, because that was some crazy shit last night. It was 12:15 and I was barely hanging on, John. And then some shit happened to Jey Uso and I was like, what? And so it was a crazy
Dude, I keep seeing the clips for like new wrestling or current wrestling on reels and all that stuff, and it looks fantastic. I just have no idea how you're supposed to watch it. Like, are you supposed to pay for the pay-per-view? I heard there's a wrestling TV app, but then you don't get to see the broadcast.
No, I get it through the Sportsnet now, and I pay. They have the Sportsnet now has the wrestling, and you get all the pay-per-views and everything else, and it's like, I don't know, $12 a month or something. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I would like to catch up on wrestling if they made it more accessible to me. I'm sure it's hell of accessible, but to me, make it more accessible to me.
Are you okay? Before we run out, are you gaming anything? Have you been doing any gaming at all this summer?
Oh yeah, I did play something, Rob. The brand new Double Dragon game. I forgot what it's called, but it's a brand new Double Dragon game came out.
Really?
On the Switch? Yeah, and it's like 2D style. It feels like Double Dragon 1/2. But the successor, a little bit of Streets of Rage thrown in there. I'm playing with my daughter, and it is a super fun time right now. It feels pretty good. There's characters that you buy levels for, and you can unlock other characters. And the level design is pretty clever. You choose different levels, like different stages you go to, the different bosses, almost like a Mega Man game.
Okay.
But the levels change. So if you pick a certain level first, you play only the first bit of it, and then the next level you play more of that level, and then whatever the last one is, you play like the longest. So it's like, I guess it increases the replayability. And then other than that, I've been jamming a lot of Street Fighter 6. So I'm back into Street Fighter. We've run a couple Street Fighter events at the shop. So if you are down to show off your skills in person and show that it's just not all online magic, because it's a different environment online versus in person, definitely hit me up and bring it on. Rob, what are you playing? I saw Steve mention Final Fantasy in his comments earlier. Some people playing Diablo I've mentioned, but Rob, what are you playing? Fortnite anymore? Or have you retired your Fortnite?
No, I fired up for the first time like a couple of days ago with my son just to play 2 games, and I was like, what is happening on this? I don't even care anymore. No, you know what? I started up generally summertime. I don't play any games, but John, because I'm stuck in the basement, I've been playing. So I was like, you know what? I bought this Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm going to fire this up. And I fucking hated it. I did
really
not.
just hated it, eh?
I played the first mission. I got to the first planet. I was walking around. I'm supposed to try to find somebody in a bar, and there's all these little side missions. I don't know where to go. I don't know what's happening. It's so boring. I know people love this game. There's no music. There's nothing. There's nothing to keep my interest. In fact, I didn't like it. John, I wiped it off my fucking PlayStation. I deleted the whole game off the memory. Wow. I don't give a shit. And so I have the save information still, but I was like, I said, don't even take up my space on my hard drive, you fucking flaming piece of shit. Out you go. I got rid of it. So I fired up God, and I know Andre's gonna be raging when he hears this, but that's fine. God of War Ragnarok. So I'm in that, and I'm really enjoying playing that. But I have to say, there's a rumor, John, of a game it's being re-released. And the every 3 to 4 days, I look online to see if there's any new information of it. And I am so giddy with excitement. I cannot wait. And if this thing drops, so it's be coming out, I think this month, but it looks like Rockstar are going to be dropping a remaster or reissue of Red Dead Redemption. And if that's the case,
I thought it was like a new online component of some kind. No?
And if that's the case, John, I'm out. There's no more Psychic Show for 2 more months because I will dedicate. My son was going through all the games I played on the PS4 and 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. I think I had like 100 and I think he told me it was like 129 hours or something.
Oh man, that's I couldn't get into it at all, Rob. I wanted to love it. I played the previous one, that zombie online version.
Yeah.
Where you just get chased by endless hordes of zombies, and it was impossible. I remember playing that a lot with people online. But the new one, I respected it for what it was, like all like the detail put into it. But riding around on horse from place to place took too long. I needed the cars of Grand Theft Auto to carry me from place to place. I think Grand Theft Auto 5, whatever the newest one, that's probably the video game that I've played the most. I followed it across like 5 generations of systems. Yeah. And owned it on multiple systems. But I don't know, Red Dead I couldn't get into.
Oh, loved it. I would literally take if somebody said, hey, we've made a special Red Dead 3, and I would literally take my kids and sell them off to the black market to get access to get that game. I think it was great knowing you. I wish you the best of luck.
All just
every time I buy a new soccer ball, I'll think of you. But I'm gonna play Red Dead 3. So anyways, if this remaster or reissue or whatever it is coming out, I cannot wait to grab it. TV shows. Any TV shows you've watched this summer?
I watched Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I did. I don't know if Bel Air was a TV show this summer. I did finish. For some reason that was my guilty pleasure, and I watched every episode of that show. And I'm trying to think of what else did I watch. Like I know a lot of people watch The Bear. I think I'm not quite finished that. And then the Twisted Metal I just started. But yeah, I feel like I'm behind on my TV shows unless something slipped in my mind. Other than Ted Lasso. Okay. I did manage to watch all those episodes, and I had a really good time. So yeah, shout out to Gordon. We miss you guys too. This has been a lot of fun. But Rob, what about TV shows? What's your hit list? What do you recommend?
Yeah, so I did
Jack Ryan,
Ted Lasso. Yeah, I watched season 1 of The Bear. I haven't seen season 2 yet, but yes, Jack Ryan, the final season I did watch. I actually quite enjoyed it. Quite a lot. It's over. It's done. See you later, Jack.
It's gone.
It's too bad because I enjoyed
Goodbye.
It. But yeah, and then catching up on some stuff. You know what? I know this sounds really stupid, but you know what? Like first of all, I support the strike that's happening with the writers and the actors and everything else. I think this whole shit with AI is really scary. Things that's happening and hearing what the Hollywood, supposedly what the producers want. So I hope that the writers and actors get everything they want. But for me, before when this whole writer strike, I was like, man, this is crap. I don't want to be sitting watching a bunch of reality shows. But John, there's so much that's been released that at least now I have an opportunity to kind of catch up or just go back to watching stuff. Because John, Justified City Primeval has dropped the first 3 episodes, and I haven't even gotten a chance to watch it yet. right? And you know how much of you and I are huge fans of Justified. So, you know, and I want to go back and rewatch the original Justified, all 6 seasons, right? So, like, I'm looking forward to a lot of these, and we had people in the comments where had mentioned Hijack on Apple TV Plus and everything else. There's so many things, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to the fact that I can just catch up on a bunch of shit that I haven't been able to watch. So, yeah.
I rewatched I think the final season of Justified in anticipation for this new show, and it just came out at just a bad time for me that I'm because I want to sit down with it and really watch it. So I suspect maybe we'll check in after the whole season's out and just watch the whole thing, or I don't know.
Gordon said Cocaine Bear. You know what? My son and I watched it. It's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. My friend saw it in theaters and he said it was like a complete waste of time.
Well, yeah, so I'm really glad I didn't go see it in theaters. I didn't really have any interest in seeing it in theaters. I had a funny feeling it would have been a massive waste of money.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch. But it's batshit bananas crazy. And at the end of it, you're no better off. You're not really worse off. You're just like, it's like eating cotton candy. You're like, oh, this tastes, it's gone. So it's like, I don't know, John. It's the cotton candy movie of the year, if you want. Cocaine Bear. You eat it, you're like, oh, and then it's gone, and it's all over.
I feel like it needs some aids for you to watch it and really enjoy it. So maybe some substances or whatever.
Oh, I was like, okay, sorry. I thought you meant like when you're like, I need some aids to watch it. And I was like, I don't want that. What? You're talking about supplements.
Yeah.
You okay. I was like, why would you want me to get that disease?
Some things to add to the atmosphere and the mood.
Right. Not yes.
Cocaine Bear.
Okay. You're not wishing HIV on me. All right.
No, I'm not. Jesus Christ, Rob, this is really degenerated.
As it normally does, John.
And on that note, I don't know if you got anything else you want to mention, Rob, other than Gord says Ted Lasso was the best show ever. I think it held up. I know some people criticize that season 3, but I think
if you're binging season 3, you will enjoy it a lot more than if you watched it week to week.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched an episode a day, I think, when it concluded. But that was all I had time for. So
yeah, you binged it.
I might have. Yeah, I guess that's technically a binge. If I watched an episode every day until I completed it, that's technically a binge. I just didn't have the.
Yeah, I'm just saying week to week, you weren't watching one show.
Oh yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, week. You know what? I wasn't waiting 7 days between each episode. So yeah. No, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give it that. Anyways, I can't think of anything else. Did you watch that John Cena Jackie Chan movie on Netflix?
No, but no? the thumbnail, it looks like John Cena is trying to look like.
He looked like he was wearing the Shang-Chi outfit.
He looks like it looks like he's got like a knockoff Party City Shang-Chi outfit.
Yeah, that's what I was like. What is this? I'm like, what's going on? Why is John Cena dressed like Shang-Chi? I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know.
I don't think I've watched a lot of stuff on Netflix. Like I know One Piece dropped that trailer, and people are excited about that, but I haven't seen anything. Oh, Lewis says, have you guys been getting any errors when commenting? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I stream this to my Facebook as well, so that might be causing an issue. So I don't know what's going on, but anyways, we're
not doing real news, Meta. It's not like we're a news organization. You can't quite block it.
We're just having fun. We're having fun. Hopefully you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Missed you guys a lot. Especially to our long distance friends that we don't get to see in person, or at least I don't get to see in person. Rob, I haven't seen you in person since what, 2002?
2002? What you just said? I saw you like in March, man.
Oh yeah, has it been? Oh yeah. For some reason, I feel like we're just coming out of January. I don't know what's going on.
No.
Anyway, my sense of time, it does not exist right now.
Yeah. Anyways, buddy, it was good catching up.
Yeah. It was a blast. Thank you everybody for tuning in. You all make this extremely fun. And we hope that we can get it together and see you again very soon. But like Rob said, not next week. maybe the week after.
Yeah, I think, and John and I will finalize it. I think we'll be back on a more consistent schedule, back to our normal schedule once, probably after Labor Day, right, John? I would assume, like,
I think, especially once back to school hits, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but yeah, if you guys have something specific y'all want to talk about, let us know.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep an eye on our socials. We'll definitely post up there.
Yeah, we'll be back.
We're
not saying goodbye. We're just saying so long.
Farewell.
Okay.
I don't know how the rest of it goes. I had a bunch of other topics we need to talk about, but we'll save that for next time.
All right.
So start saving up your thoughts on various things. Oh wow, this is weird this way. I'm gonna keep it this way. New bracket. Oh man, we never finished a bunch of the other brackets.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gordon over here is like new bracket. But maybe we'll have the summer showdown or something. Maybe we'll just give Sarah homework and then have her pop in for a report. Assign her some random movie that we don't want to watch.
Every Lindsay Lohan Hallmark movie coming out this year.
Oh man, I can't wait for those. Lindsay Lohan's gonna come back. Anyways, we're gonna stay here all night if we get too into this. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you again, Rob.
Thanks, buddy.
It's been too long, good sir.
Yep. Yeah, I miss you,
so
pal.
we'll have to chat soon. So you guys in the comments, thank you again for tuning in. I can't say it enough. And I think that's all we got for you tonight.
Yep, that's it. We're done like dinner.
Yeah, done like dinner. Oh man, I'm gonna go eat something. All right. So
cheers
to y'all. Cheers, Rob.
See you, buddy.
Water. Jesus, what are you all healthy?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Dude, all I'm eating is shit when I'm living in a basement. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Living like you're in your what you call university
I'm
days.
living like I'm in my 20s, but unfortunately, I have a metabolism of 40.
You do not have a metabolism. All right, peace out. We're gonna be here forever. Thank you, folks. See you next time.